Hello friends, I have to start with this news. Today, December 15th, the Security Service of Ukraine, and the Ukrainian Navy conducted a dramatic operation against a Russian Black Sea Fleet submarine docked at Novorossiysk, where Ivan the Pirate's remaining ships are sheltered. According to the SBU, this was the first time in history that unmanned underwater vehicles, here an experimental Sea Baby variant called the Sub-Sea Baby, infiltrated the port and attacked an improved Kilo-class diesel-electric submarine, known in Mordor as the Barsha Bianca class with a NATO codename, Black Hole, in recognition of its remarkable acoustic stealth capabilities. The damage is a major setback for the already weakened Russian Black Sea Fleet. The attacked submarine had 6 vertical launch systems for Kaliber cruise missiles, which have often been used in long-range strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure and cities, making it a top target for Ukrainian forces. The SBU reported that the explosion caused severe damage, leaving the vessel completely out of service. The estimated value of the submarine is around $300 to $400 million, and the potential replacement costs amount to $500 million due to international sanctions that limit Russia's access to components and specific shipbuilding materials. It's also important to note that the Ukrainians seem to have access to the port's surveillance cameras, through which they were able to identify the target, which is accompanied, that is to say, by a large number of other future targets for the Sea Baby's submarines. This is getting very interesting. Good thing Trump told us that Ukraine had no cards to play. But that's not the only setback for the invaders, because on December 9, 2025, a heavy military transport plane, Antonov 22A Ante, from the Russian Aerospace Forces crashed during a post-repair test flight in the Ivanovo region, northeast of Moscow. The plane, over 50 years old and considered the last Antonov 22 in flying condition, literally disintegrated in the air. Footage from a surveillance camera shows that the plane practically broke in half while making a steep descent. Rescuers found pieces of the aircraft scattered over the reservoir. All 7 crew members on board died, despite initial claims that the 2 cargo handlers on the plane tried to parachute out. Here's the important part. Preliminary reports suggest the accident may be due to a technical failure, possibly linked to poor repairs at the Ivanovo Aircraft Repair Plant 380. Facing a severe financial crisis, it can't pay its technicians' salaries, which could have affected the quality of the assembly of the aircraft's flight control actuators. On December 12, 2025, Ukraine's unmanned systems forces launched a long-range drone attack against the Slavneft Yanos oil refinery in Yaroslavl, Russia, about 700 kilometers northeast of the border with Ukraine, one of the 5 largest refining facilities in Russia. The refinery, a joint venture between Rosneft and Gazpromneft, has an annual processing capacity of up to 15 million tons of crude oil, which represents approximately 4.6% of Russia's total refining output. It produces gasoline, diesel, aviation kerosene, jet fuel, and other products that supply the army, security agencies, and defense industries of Russia in the Central Federal District. Local residents reported multiple explosions, up to 7, during the night of December 11 to 12, followed by a large-scale fire at the facility. Video footage showed intense flames and smoke. Industry sources reported damage to the primary crude distillation unit and the loading rack, which led to a complete suspension of operations. On the logistics front, I just wanted to mention and highlight that the government of the Czech Republic has successfully fulfilled the commitment made last year to transfer 1,800,000 artillery shells to Ukraine, during 2025, of which more than 80% of the transferred munitions were 155mm caliber to keep the heavy howitzers of the artillery brigades operational. The remaining 20% was 122mm caliber for Soviet pieces still used by defenders, and 105mm munitions for Western donated light field guns supporting front-line positions. It should be remembered that under the Czech Initiative program, Prague has consistently supplied artillery ammunition to Kiev over the past 2 years, sourced from countries like Egypt, India, and Pakistan, or made by European manufacturers. On the aerial front, an interceptor drone captured on its infrared camera how another interceptor drone chased and successfully shot down a Shahed kamikaze drone. This tactic uses interception groups with multiple Sting-type interceptors that can reach speeds of up to 310 kilometers per hour. In addition, they are able to land in case they fail to intercept their target. Therefore, they are a highly cost-effective solution for defenders. They're also made in Ukraine, so their supply isn't affected by the orange people's mood swings. This interception is even better. Starting in June of this year, the Wild Hornets group began testing in combat conditions an interceptor drone equipped with a directional electronic jamming module focused on cutting off the control signal of the Horde's drone operators, causing them to lose control and crash to the ground. The jamming module can identify the control frequency and then launch an attack that overloads the drone's telemetry. Through these remote interceptions, the mission of protecting the ground forces is accomplished. No need to lose a mosquito in the process. Each mosquito that returns and flies again raises the invasion cost for the Horde. In this video, we see an interceptor mosquito approach its prey, a Shahed attack drone from the Horde. Apparently, the operator realizes he is being hunted, so as a countermeasure, he launches a barrage of PTM-3 anti-tank mines. This is because the Ukrainian Sting interceptors carry out their final attack run below the Shahed drones to avoid being detected by the surveillance cameras mounted on the fuselage. Ivan drops mines in the interceptor's path, hoping one will hit and bring down the Sting. To conclude, I wanted to share the grim words of the German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, yesterday in Munich. Dear friends, the decades of the American Pax are practically over for us in Europe and also for us in Germany. It no longer exists as we knew it. And nostalgia won't change that. And I would be one of the last not to let myself be carried away by that nostalgia. But it's useless. That's just how things are. Americans now pursue their own interests ruthlessly. And this can only be answered by saying that it's time for us to pursue our own interests as well. And dear friends, we are not weak, we are not small. Big words. It's time to act with or without Washington, and most likely without them. But that's what we have to live with. The end of the American PAX. For those who want to see additional content, we invite you to subscribe to our Patreon, where for just $1 you'll have access to more uncensored war videos. Now then, do you think Zelensky's underwater drones will take care of the rest of the Z fleet in the Black Sea? Leave your answer in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.